have a new brand review for you today, and I thought we could focus on affordable fashion. Something I'm often talking about is how you can buy good quality at every single price. You just need to know what to look for. And I thought we could do one of my high street favorites, H&M. I do just want to mention that H&M is of course a fast fashion brand, so if this isn't the one for you, then please feel free to click out. I'm sure my next brand review will be something that you really love, but it is one that I often will go to carefully select things, and it's really taking on this role of curator that has allowed me to find some serious gems from the brand over the year which do not break the bank. And I'm also conscious that not everyone has the budget to splurge on something that is really expensive, so I'm gonna dive right into it. I've got a whole bunch of items here on my rail. You'll see there's a little bit of color, so lots of fun. So I'm gonna run through everything, talk about my overall thoughts, and then I'll also just chat about the returns process, purchasing process as well at the end. The first item I ordered in two different colors because I wanted to see how they looked on me. It is this semi-sheer shirt, so I ordered it in the kind of pale ecru off-white and also this beautiful buttercup yellow. Now this is a lyocell blend, so it's 85% lyocell tencel, and then it also has 15% polyamide in it, and it's this composition which actually gives it almost a cotton silk feel but at a fraction of the price. This was only $35, and I actually think that this is a real steal. This is something that has all of the qualities that I really love, has a lovely tactile quality. The way that it feels in the hand is really interesting. You can see that they have really used a lot of thread when it comes to stitching on the buttons, so I would hope that those aren't going to fall off, but that is a really easy fix. The sizing is quite oversized. I have on the small, and you can see that it is clearly designed to be quite a relaxed shirt, and being semi-sheer, actually I did notice even with a flesh tone bra you can actually see that through the fabric. So this is going to be one where you are intentionally wearing something underneath that will show your undergarments, or you're wearing a camisole, something like the booty ones, to give yourself a little bit of additional modesty. I'll link those below in case you're curious. All in all, I think a really strong start and definitely one of my favorite items that I ordered. Next piece to touch on is this off-shoulder top, which came in a few different colors, but I went with the very typical Parisian option, which is in the white and black stripe. This was $35, and this one here is a viscose knit blend. It is really soft to the touch, and I will say it is a style that you could size down in. I find a lot of their styles which are a little bit more stretchy are very forgiving, so if you want it to be very form-fitting, it's best to size down. It's actually got really nice soft straps as well, which don't really slip up or down the arms, which is really nice. This to me kind of leans in on a couple of trends, the off-shoulder trend, but also that quite luxury trend as well, as it looks like quite an expensive piece. And often when it comes to H&M, I will tend to favor the more classic muted styles, things that are in classic prints or else in a classic color and silhouette. This is one I'll be keeping, and I'm actually really curious to see how it'll wear. First impressions are great, but it's when you kind of start to launder your items that you can really see how something is going to wear over time. It is tomato girl season. I am here for it. I really love red as a trend color. I will link my trend video up in the cards if you haven't gone and watched it yet. So that was kind of the reason why I was really drawn to this particular t-shirt. This is in a cotton and silk blend, which was really the catalyst for me adding it to cart aside from the color. I opted for a size small, and this retails for $50. Now, I will say this is probably not my favorite. I've had cotton and silk blend tops before, which feel so silky, feel really luxurious, whereas this actually feels a little bit more on the cheaper side. It reminds me a lot of those bodysuits which look smooth, but they're in this fabrication that kind of stops it. It's not rough, but your hand doesn't glide over the fabric, and for that reason I would be returning this. This is actually something I wouldn't look twice at again, especially for the price point. I would rather just get either a cotton t-shirt or a silk knit tee, and there are so many great brands that do 100% silk knit tees, Lily Silk being one of them, so I probably avoid this. So the color is beautiful. A real shame, as I thought this had a lot of promise. In that same colorway, we have this red silk blend dress, and these pieces are actually from H&M's premium line. So H&M have a few different lines. They've got their regular line, which tends to be more classic pieces. They have divided, which is often more trend-led pieces, and then they have premium, which is better tailoring and also better materials. So this is silk blended with cotton, and then it's also got some polyester or polyamide in it, which I suspect is probably to help strengthen the fibers. This really feels like a cotton yarn with a little bit of synthetic to it on the hand. It does almost look like it could potentially be sheer when you look at the fact that there is a little bit of openness to the net, though I don't notice this when it is being worn. I really quite like this one, column style, very, very simple, something that would feel effortless to throw on with a little sandal. I quite like the fact that the neckline is slightly stiff, so you can see it's got a little bit of structure to it, it's not going to bag out, and then you do have the more open armholes. This one was $139, so it is a little bit more expensive, and you could probably find something comparable from a brand like Dish if you wanted a more muted minimal color. I think this also comes in a creamy oatmeal color too. This is another one that was one of my favorites, and definitely one that I would recommend over that cotton silk t-shirt if you were looking to add some tomato red into your wardrobe. I really went for it in the tops category, I think, here. So next we have this Ribet Tank, which reminds me a lot of Kate. This one was $35, and I ordered it in the extra small because I did find, based on the reviews, that it could come up large, and I really wanted it to be a nice snug fit. This one again is a viscose blend, so it's blended with polyamide, which actually gives it this really nice smooth hand feel. It almost feels like it could be a cotton rib, but it's not. And again, I'm curious to see how this wears. I do have a fabric shaver, so if there is any pilling, I can easily tidy this up. I really like the way that this one fits, and I think it is incredibly chic. Again, another style that I'm planning to keep because I think it's going to be a really easy one to throw on just with trousers, with skirts, denim, just with a little jacket or something like that over the top. Really, really like it. And as I mentioned before, with the red knitted styles, you can size down one if you want to get a really nice form-fitting feel. I really like H&M for t-shirts. I think that they generally always offer really good value for money, and this one was only $15. I've kind of been looking at adding more printed tees into my closet, and I thought this was a little bit of fun. I'm not sure I'm going to keep this one in the end because I got one from Ganni and I really love that, and I realized it sort of filled that gap for me. But I do think this is really great value for money. Not only does it have the print on it, but it's also embroidered too. So I didn't really catch that when I was looking at it online, that the Beach Explorer text is actually embroidered in this beautiful chocolate brown. This is ever so slightly semi-sheer, but the fabrication, the cotton, it feels really nice and soft in the hand, and my other cotton tees from H&M have all worn really well. I feel like cotton tees are a dime a dozen, definitely not something that I would splurge on, and I think if you're looking to get a printed tee, I tend to have a really good selection. I have a couple that I've added to my wardrobe over the years, and they're always just really fun to have on rotation. So definitely a place I would start if you want to kind of get a graphic tee but don't want to spend a lot, and they are a relaxed fit, so I'm wearing size small on this. My favorite pants from H&M have gotten an upgrade. They are now longer. You may recognize this style. I've added it to my wardrobe in a few different colors, and it was previously a cropped length, so hitting just above the ankle. These are now full length. These are in the navy, and I've also got a little bit of room at the waist, though I'm not mad about it. It has belt loops, so I can easily just add a belt if I want to cinch things in, but the elasticated waistband at the back is the thing that draws me to them. I think it leans in on our desire to be comfortable but still have that element of tailoring in our pieces. The fabrication on this is really nice too. It's actually nicer than my other pairs. So it's a viscose blend, which gives it this really lovely silky hand feel. So very, very pleased with these. They are $50 as well, which I think is a great kind of price point for a pair of trousers that you are going to be wearing a lot. That is going to be a good base piece, foundational item in your closet. And I went with my usual size AU8, UK8, US4. And yeah, love them. So definitely another one I'll be adding to my wardrobe and on rotation. Okay, second to last piece is this blue and white cotton striped shirt, and I have to say I like this better online than I did in person. In person it is ever so slightly sheer, and it also has this very textured component to it, which I was not expecting. And this is just one of the things that happens when you're shopping online. You can't always pick that sort of thing up. So it's almost I can't remember what this type of cotton is called, but it's kind of got this puckered effect to it, and it feels slightly rough and raw. I wonder whether this would soften up if you are washing it over and over. I got this in my usual size small, and as far as sort of relaxed shirts go, this is more of an intentional fit. So it is loose through the body, but it is not that comically oversized fit that you often see at the moment. And again, you can see here how I favor those classic prints, a stripe, something that I know I can't go wrong with when I'm shopping from H&M, and that is my number one tip. Go classic, don't go trendy there. They tend to be their better styles. This one retailed for $35, which I think is a good price for a cotton shirt, but I just reckon if you were looking for something like this, you could probably find something in a cotton poplin at a similar price point that doesn't have that texture if that's not what you're looking for. Final item I added to cart, this beige long maxi skirt with a slit at the back. This was $28, so I think it's actually the cheapest item that I ordered. I will say that there are some good things about this and some bad things. So one, the price is great. It's cotton elastane stretch, so it feels really, really comfortable on. And the fit is good if you want something that sits lower on the waist. Personally, I prefer a high rise because I want to balance out my proportions. So for that reason, this was immediately a no-go. Has a really thick elasticated waistband, which feels very comfortable though against the skin. The problem is, for me, if you want to tuck things in, it's going to show because the fabrication is the type that is quite kind of thin or body hugging, and so it does reveal every little crease and every little bit of fabric that is underneath. So you need to be wearing seamless underwear with this as well so that you don't have any lines showing. I also found that even though I'm wearing my usual size, there is a little bit of puckering across the hips, which is something that I probably want to avoid. So I would need to get a style like this tailored perfectly, so going up a size and getting it cinched in at the waist so that I didn't have that effect. This might not be a deal breaker for you, but it is something that I am considering. Otherwise, I think it's a bargain. Actually, it comes in black too, which is going to be a lot more forgiving than this sort of pale taupe hue. So as you can see, for me, when it comes to shopping at H&M, it is all about being really selective. A lot of their really good items tend to be online only, which I find really frustrating, but it does mean you can try it on in your home with a bunch of your other clothing items to see how it's really going to work for you. Be really discerning, so see if there are any reviews and read what everybody else is saying about the items, especially when it comes to sizing, and if they have any feedback on how things wear, that can be invaluable as a resource. Look at the fabric composition because this is going to tell you a lot of information, and I find that their natural fiber pieces or even the things that have viscose in them tend to be better than anything else. I will always avoid their 100% polyester pieces as I just think you can spend your money better elsewhere. I tend to avoid their accessories and stick just to the clothing pieces as I've found that that is where I've had the most success over the years, and again just opting for the more classic silhouettes and timeless prints. They do have a Members Plus program which can often get you little discounts and savings on your order, which can be great especially if you were someone who is trying to be quite thrifty and very considerate about how they're spending their money. The returns process is really easy, though I do wish that they had a portal. Basically they just give you a little return slip in your bag, you check which items you want to return and then you post it back. I wish that there was a digital record of this as well, as it would just give me a little bit of added security, though I've never had any issues receiving my refund, and I do find the whole process to be very, very simple and also very quick. I think probably the most annoying thing for me about shopping at H&M is quite often the styles sell out so quickly, and this really is just part and parcel of shopping at a fast fashion brand. They will have limited stock, and if you are a frequent shopper, you will know that things sell out, so you are going to be quick to pull the trigger on the pieces that you want to buy. And quite often this is an emotional response. It's not something that we are considering, that we're spending a lot of time thinking about, because in that moment we're going, I see it, I like it, I want it, I got it, rather than thinking, I see it, I like it, is this going to work for me? Will this work with my wardrobe? Do I need it? Do I have the money to buy? All of these questions that we should be asking ourselves, we're not taking the time to do because we're going, if I don't buy it now, it's going to sell out and I'm going to miss out on this thing that could be a key part of my wardrobe. And that is something that I personally find really challenging and very frustrating. And it's definitely a way that I don't like to shop. So that is my take on shopping at H&M. I think everyone's got different budgets, and that really is going to dictate where we can shop and how much money we have to spend on our clothing. And that's obviously a much wider discussion, but I thought it would be fun to kind of show you how you can find some absolute gems from a brand like H&M. And if you follow me on Instagram, then you may have seen the post I share with an H&M premium purchase that was an absolute fail. It was oversized, gone wrong. I'm gonna link that down in the description box below actually, because it's a little bit funny to me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. I am forever grateful. I would actually love to know what other brands you'd like to see me review as part of the series. Maybe I can do a New Zealand brands edit and Australian brands edit as well, if that's something that would pique your interest. But yeah, that's it from me today. If you're new and you would love to see more from me, I would love to have you subscribe, and I will see you next time with a brand new video. See you very soon. Bye.